At the conference, there's definitely so much networking, even outside of the regular panels, that you get so much information. I learned about a lot of different countries and their policies while being at the last conference. So always great to see. And one thing that I have seen is that there are a lot of great people there, a lot of thought leaders, not enough kids or college students. And Sinclair, I wanted you to speak to that. Do you think that'll be different this year, that we can reach out to more of the college kids in the area, or even, around the world? Do you think that is very possible, because they're the ones that are going to take this technology to the next level? So do you think the conference can reach out there a lot more?
Yeah, I think, the first ones, we had a lot of Howard University students, and we even had some actually high school students do some presenting. I think what's happened with the last, of course, 2 years, being able to present a event where you're dealing with the issues of the COVID, and all of y'all both of you are in these spaces where we're trying to do new things. So I'll be candid. This year, just making sure we have the trains run on time, everybody's healthy, everybody's participating. I'm just, on 100,000, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that we're going to do better next year. But to be able to make it to next year, on everything, that is our mission. Is literally to be together with y'all in person, where we can hug each other and just laugh and be around each other fearlessly. That's what we're aiming for with this one. And our prayers are out to everyone to make sure that they appreciate the fact that, your participation, Cleve, what we all are doing for the love of our community through this technology is very serious, and we take none of it for granted, and we're just thankful.
Oh yeah, have to. And I think that's one of the best parts about this conference, is how thankful we are to be able to have our own, and to be able to meet and see each other at least once a year. Any plans, even though it's online this year, Sinclair, any plans to maybe have it in another city at some point outside of DC?
Yeah, whatever I can do to be supportive. Let me just say this. Just like we have many people who have written books, and yours being amazing, Cleve's being amazing, we're definitely in support of any and every activity outside of this space, and in other cities, even in the spring, like having these meetups and having these activities, I think is important. I think the biggest thing that I see with the Black Blockchain Summit is that we want to make sure that when you leave, you have something that you take with you that helps you build for the next year. One of the things I tell people with meetings, the reason why we know that there was a Declaration of Independence is because them folks went out and started shooting them British folks. Now, that's the only, we wouldn't even know there was a Declaration of Independence. That meeting would never have been in our minds, but they went out there and put that fire on them cats. My prayer that I continue to pray with all of us is that the things that happen after this meeting, the manifestation that takes place between meetings, is really the testament of what we've been able to collectively do. Not me, collectively. You. So literally this conference, with it being free, like one of the things, making it free. We were going to charge some for the folks who actually came in, and we're in the process of doing refunds for them, but also going to make sure they get a t-shirt. Like literally, as long as we get the sponsorship, right. This really is supposed to be a safe place for as long as we can have a safe. That's the reason I'm answering it. I know that this space on this time of the year, I will make sure that with all my strength, that it's a safe space where we can always go to and be ourselves as uniquely as we are, as individuals, with the sovereignty that we deserve. I know that is the offering I have for all the love y'all give me and have been given to all of us. So I know that. Now, when we have the one in North Carolina, I'm 100%, 100% supporter of that one. So all the ones we have,
what about the country? What about the country? Maybe Barbados, Bahamas, or something.
Well, we were talking about the Virgin or Haiti. We were talking about Haiti. We were talking about humbly. We were talking about the Virgin Islands, which is not out of the country, and we weren't. Some of the things were a little last minute. Again, all those things, I think, are a manifestation of the greatness of who we are. And that's all this is. This really is us. So anywhere where there's two or more in our name, what was it? You preachers be saying three of us and it's church. Anyway, I apologize.
Two or more gathered.
Yes.
Amen.
And I do want to add, before we do the amen, I do want to add that in crypto, we're so quick to get there. We're so quick to move. We're so quick to get to where we want to go. And we have to build. So I think I love this about this conference that, there's not a pressure to actually be somewhere. It's an opportunity for us to share and fellowship. And I think as the conference grows, as, our leadership grows in this space, the conference will evolve. So I think, everything that we just talked about will happen in terms of, having more young people, creating a space for them, but also going abroad.
Oh, yeah. And I love that. And we want to continue to build on top of what we've done before. And Cleve, I wanted to ask you, with the conference being online this year, do you think it's a better opportunity to bring in regulators so that they could see a different viewpoint? Because this has been a huge year for regulation with the changes in the SEC with Gary Gensler. Do you think we can maybe get some more of those people into the conference since it's online this year?
Yes. And obviously, I focus on the Tri-Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and Asian Pacific American Caucus. And, we know that, the Black Caucus is having these conversations. The Black Caucus members dominate the Financial Services Committee. And also Black Caucus staffers. There's actually a Congressional Black Staff Associate as well that's interested in these conversations. Yeah, so virtual gives us an opportunity to get these players into this conversation, expand this reach, and get more of them in. And I know that's a priority for Sinclair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know Sinclair has said that many times with regulators, bringing them into the conference, making sure they can see. How do you feel about that, Sinclair? Do you think more regulators being able to hear how we can, innovate instead of try to regulate? Do you think that's possible this year at this conference?
I think Cleve did something. She's kind of holding back. And look, I'm not going to try to make her give it up on your show, but maybe she's just doing a little tease on it. Her insight into this space with the regulator did something. We got a speaker that we're going to have, and we still haven't finalized them. And he challenged me on the issue of innovation and Black folks' liberation. And the point he made, he said, well, whatever year you want to talk about innovation. I said, what about the internet? It's done a lot. He said, well, pick a time and you show me whenever that technology hit, I'll show you the wealth disparity with Black folks and white folks got even larger. That conversation about how sophisticated the system that we're dealing with has, in a conversation with Cleve, hit me so hard how we first were fighting. Like, I still remember even our first blockchain conference, Facebook did not allow us to put blockchain or Bitcoin on the, use them to promote it, man. And so even getting a bank account, having crypto or coin or something in your name. So there was a lot of forces stopping us. But when they didn't see they could stop us, they got that little meme about how they join you. But this is a little more insidious. I'm not going to give up what Cleve taught me, but she taught me, man. That's what I say. The mentorship you given me, Isaiah, the mentorship you given me, Cleve, I started to realize at this age, I have mentors. Instead of trying to be the mentor, look, the fact that I still humbly am learning is the only thing that'll probably keep me alive a couple more days. So literally, she was speaking to the fact that they are now capturing us. It's almost like state capture. They literally capture the industry and push out the little folks and say, look, we're the ones who are capable of handling this technology. Right. And guess what? They literally they can colonize Africa even more effectively with blockchain. Like, literally, you can track folks. So you hear these projects, they're literally data mining the transactions themselves, not just our information. So literally, I think with the regulators, I think what's important about us, how brilliant y'all are, is that you guys can speak to this, not just where it is today. There's a vision that we have about liberation that's, I think, different than sometimes the mainstream in the space, that can actually say, where do we need to take this space? Be you a regulator or you be you in the room as a operator. So I'm so anxious for what so many of y'all have to say, but Claire, I'm not giving it out now because I want to, take these conversations weird. Man, I want to tell you, but I won't keep it down because what I'm saying is we were fighting them. And then it seemed like we were getting advances because now you got Coinbase it's been IPO and you got, people using it. You got Cash App. You got all these folks who were like, wait a minute. I'm not the weirdo anymore. Look, I was just early. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? They got a trap. Like, just when you thought you was going to put your hands up, like they come for us. So again, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Sinclair is alluding to the fact that, for Black innovators in crypto, Black leaders in crypto, we have to become a larger and a louder part of the conversation. We have to start leading these policy conversations. When you look at the infrastructure bill and the crypto tax provision, most people don't realize it was going to impact Black and Latinx folks in crypto more than anyone else, because what they were trying to do, expand the definition of broker from your large exchanges from your Geminis to your, Binance US, to now include software developers, hardware developers, right. Miners. And where do we operate in this space? That is our sweet spot in this place. So when you look at, the impact on, projects like Tavonia, Evans and Guapcoin, it's tremendous. And unless these regulators are hearing from us, they're going to make policies, and especially, the Black Caucus, they're going to make policies they think are protecting consumers. And what they're going to do is push Black people out of this space. So we not only have to be louder, but we also have to make sure, great, we're saying, great, let's have these conversations, but what are the conversations we want to have, and make sure we're pushing them through. So we'll go into a deep dive, in about a week and a half during the conference.